what is great about our lifestyle. We don't really have commitments to anything, and so if we decide on a whim, which we do often, that this is not going to work, it's too freaking hot, it's going to be too hot, and so instead of coming back to the Midwest in a couple weeks, we decided to change positions.
So back home onto the van. Stayed at a Walmart parking lot last night like we oftentimes do, but we're tucked back in this corner, and it was 90 degrees yesterday in Salt Lake City, but it was very nice overnight. The van has the fan that comes down, brings the cold air in, or the cooler air in. Super comfortable. It was nice to be back on. We'll be back on for about 3 weeks. Today we're going to head probably about an hour and a half to the Bonneville Salt Flats. They have car, motorcycle, truck, I think everything type of speed racing. I don't think they actually race, they just do time trials, I believe. But we'll head down there before this weekend. On Saturday we will check in at the Escapers, which is a group of people that are full-time RVers that work on the road mainly. Not everybody, including us, but most of the people. They're a little younger than us probably, but we fit in better with them, I think, than we do the older escapees, which are the retired folks that travel in their RVs. So anyway, we've done an annual bash a few years ago, met some really good people that we're still in contact with, and so we'll go there and enjoy the time with that. But it's supposed to be I think 95 degrees in this area today, so it'll be awfully hot, but it's really good to be back on the van. Love the comfort that we have and the home feel, so we will talk to you later. So, change of plans. Even though I told you this morning we are going to the Bonneville Salt Flats, we decided not to. We are going back to the Midwest. It's a little cooler there. We will meet up with our boys and families and family and friends and hang out there before we end up going to Albuquerque. So
that is what is great about our lifestyle. We don't really have commitments to anything, and so if we decide on a whim, which we do often, that this is not going to work, it's too freaking hot, it's going to be too hot, and so instead of coming back to the Midwest in a couple weeks, we decided to change positions because our other son is actually going to be in this location or this area when we're back too.
And we were going to come back anyway, so this just moves it ahead 2 weeks, really. And we were going to fly back, so we'll bring the van back with us. But we do this often. We cancel flights often. Thankfully, last year, because of COVID, they allow you to have e-credit on these flights. So I'm struggling finding enough flights to get e-credits or to use the e-credits because we cancel often when we change it. But most of the time, we're talking about $75 flights or something like that. But we've always done that. We used to have a budget for cancellations because sometimes we're overwhelmed, we're traveling too much, we need to slow down, or vice versa.
Or not, our kids call us and say, hey, you want to meet us in Thailand? And we're like, oh my God, yeah, absolutely. So we drop what we're doing and then we head to Thailand. Just like Germany. We didn't think Germany was going to happen this year. So we were just resigned to the fact that we weren't going there, and it ended up turning out, and so we dropped all the plans during that time and we flew off to Germany. So
yeah, and that works very well doing that, and so we'll continue to do it.
So the next time or the next up would be exploring the Midwest, and we will take you guys along. We're going to do some projects on the van, and we want to do more in-depth videos about the van, and so we will take you a longer trip back to the Midwest and back to our hometown, and we will show you where we're staying at and then some of the sites within the city from where Bob actually grew up.
Unless we end up in a different spot.
We change our mind.
No, I don't think so.
All right, we'll take you along the way.
So we made it to almost Cheyenne, Wyoming. we still have quite a long ways to go. What you don't realize is how many times, and we took off and drove the whole time, but you got to get gas, something to drink, something to eat, rest stops, whatever. But we made it here, and now we'll stay here tonight. Just finished dinner.
Yeah, great Walmart stop dinner. I made a good meal for us.
But we got to show you this this camper. It's huge. It's longer than that semi truck. It's probably a 40-foot motorhome with a huge trailer behind it. But as you see, more and more people come in. We have a camper over there, so it'll probably fill up. But these work out great because we stop, get groceries, and then have dinner. And it's about 8 o'clock now, so we'll hang out, watch some YouTube or whatever, and then head out in the morning. Probably make it quite a ways. I'm not sure exactly what state, but then we'll end up in our hometown on Friday.
I'm just relaxing here in the van on our comfy couch, watching some YouTubers that we have followed for many years, and we have a long drive ahead of us tomorrow, making our way to Wisconsin. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the morning. All right, so yesterday we drove 12 hours straight, and we just slept for the night in a Walmart parking lot.
And it was like 90 degrees when we got here, and it was fine as far as the van. And overnight it was no problem. We haven't had any problem with the heat. So
our fan in our van is fantastic. That really helps pull in a lot of air, and it was a comfortable stay. And we got about a 5-hour drive left back to Madison, and that is what's on our agenda today.
Yeah, there was a long drive yesterday, but we're pretty close now. So, the van drives like a car. So
yeah, it's easy to drive, very comfortable to drive. You can drive normal speed. You don't have to go slower. So that I love. That's really nice to have that.
Yeah,
luxury.
With our motorhome, which wasn't that much bigger, but it was bigger, you had blind spots that were real. On this one, you have no blind spots, so you really feel like you can just drive it normally. Plus, it accelerates very quickly.
It handles well. It's not all over the road and not rocky, and the wind doesn't bother it very much at all. So we are off and on our way to Madison. So Bob's taking over the driving now after he's recovered from a bout of something yesterday. He slept in the back the entire time for the 12-hour drive, and
worked out well. Yeah, it wasn't very safe necessarily without seatbelts, but it was
like dying in the front seat buckled up, or laying in the back questionably unsafe, and having a bucket next to you and being more comfortable. So you weigh the risk versus the reward, maybe?
Well, and many times the question for people is, when you live in an RV, how is it when you're not feeling good? It's comfortable. Everything's right here. We have a restroom and shower and everything, so not a problem at all. And if we had to quarantine in the van, it would be fine. So.
Yeah, it was going to be questionable whether we were going to stay in a hotel last night because of comfort and what he needed, and it was smoking hot when we arrived, really, and it ended up being great, and we both were very comfortable last night and got a good sleep. And
the funny thing is timing is, we're not doing a flight how I was yesterday. I'm not flying, and so I'm not even taking a train if I felt like yesterday. So it's amazing. We were going to travel all day anyway, and I just slept the whole day basically. So if we're on an international flight, no, I can't go. We have to cancel. So the timing was perfect. But it's funny, I can eat food from all over the world, never have a problem. I've gotten sick twice in the last 5.5 years. One was on a cruise ship, and then
in America.
And we had probably a rotisserie chicken from Walmart or something, whatever. It was from American food. So
yeah. bothers us. We never get Delhi Belly. We never get Montezuma's revenge. But when we're back in the United States, it always seems to get him for whatever reason. So
Not often.
not often, rarely. But he's feeling good now and can't tolerate me driving, even though I drove 12 hours yesterday, maybe because he had his eyes closed. I don't know. But I'm just joking. I'm working on some video editing while I'm driving here, which works out okay too. I get motion sickness, but it's gotten better over time, and maybe I'm conditioning myself by doing more things in the car and reading and editing, and so I don't get motion sickness as much. So we got about 2 hours left before we hit our hometown, and I'll get some editing done in the meantime. So we are in Madison now, Bob's hometown, and we are going to check into a camping ground where we're going to stay with the van. It's just convenient because we have the van and it's our home, and it's a great camping ground right in Madison that we've stayed at before many times, and so we are going to check in there, and we have that place for a week, and we're just going to play things by ear and see what plays out as we're back home.
There it is. Not very often are we in a park, but this is a county park, so.
This is Lake Farm Campground, which is a county park inside Madison.
Kind of, yeah.
But it's great because it's surrounded by marsh and wilderness, and has a great bike path that goes all the way into Madison, and we've stayed here several times before, and it's a convenient one. We do really like it.
Sliding it. That's a shirt.
So, beautiful morning in Madison. We lucked out. We found a site that must have just got canceled, but it's right on the edge then. It's a non-electric site, which of course we need, but we have our own field in front of us on the side, so it works out very well. Nice campground. Not too many people in here. It's a county campground, so for us it was $18 a night. There's a bike paths that ride right through it, that can ride into the city, which Madison's a beautiful city. We'll show you some of that later. But nice. So we'll stay here for a couple weeks. We'll take you along, tour you around Madison a little bit, maybe do some trips. Also, we have some van projects to do, so we'll also show you some of that.